what other like altcoins and projects are you kind of getting excited about? Because there's altcoins is I always tell people basically, as it was explained to me, Bitcoin is like gold. It's a digital asset. It can never change. And the altcoins are I treat them like stocks. They can, some of them, even if they're on the blockchain, if they're using Amazon servers, they can get shut down. They might have an owner of a company who's pumping and dumping. It might be a scam. I don't know. They could get bought out. They could go out of business, blah, blah, blah. So I just say, people just do your research on each individual altcoin because they're all very, very different. So what altcoins are you into or are excited about, or what new stuff is happening in the altcoin space for you?
So before I get started, I do want to say hashtag not financial advice and reiterate to do your own research. I love the altcoin space. I know there's a lot of Bitcoin, what's called maximalists, which only believe in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is a great store of value. I think it's a great digital asset, but also I'm very passionate about a lot of the projects that are out there. And I want to say that it's a little bit closed-minded to be such a hardcore Bitcoin maximalist because a lot of these projects are new. They're in their infancy. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what kind of programs are going to be created on top of them. Obviously, I'm very bullish on Ether or Ethereum. It's a smart contracts technology. They are having some growing pains right now, which a lot of Bitcoin maximalists criticize because the gas fees to transfer money are high, and there's a lot of upgrades to do. And allegedly, they feel that it's not a true decentralized platform or money. Again, these are projects. I see them as projects and not currency. I think that's a little bit confusing to people because they are called cryptocurrencies. I really don't even see Bitcoin as a currency. I see it as an asset. I see it as a store of value. And there aren't really true currencies. The true currencies are the stable coins that we talked about on the last time I was on the show, USD coin, Tether. Those are more stats, which is the smallest increment of Bitcoin. Those are more like a currency where you can spend them, you can use them. But again, a lot of these projects, we don't know what's going to come out of them. So the ones that I'm bullish on, Ethereum, because of the smart contract technology. So for example, those who don't really understand what it is, you might be able to set certain parameters on the algorithm that cannot be done until it's completed. So maybe, Graham, you decide that you're going to buy a house. Instead of going through an escrow company, an algorithm can be programmed on the Ethereum network that after certain items are met, then the keys can be released to you, or the code for the lockbox can be released to you. So, 1, the appraisal came through. 2, the inspection went through. And so these things can be programmed onto that smart contract technology, and that algorithm can't be broken until they're done and they're completed. So that's a really cool technology. Another technology that I'm really bullish on.
I just want to interject real quick too to that same point about, I've heard now, a friend of mine actually is dating a woman in Southern California who is a realtor people are buying and selling homes with crypto, mainly Bitcoin, I believe. And there's now, he told me, a crypto realtors association or alliance or something. That's awesome. Like that. So this is awesome. And then you tell me about this technology to do all the other escrow and the inspection and all the other stuff that happens in buying a house. I think that kind of stuff gets very exciting to me.
It is. And I want to talk about how people are like, well, how can, the average person get rich with crypto? Well, so say there's like this piece of property on the beach, Graham, right? This piece of property. In the past, developers would buy that property and they would make all the money. Well, the way that crypto works is now you can tokenize something. So you can take that property, let's say it's 1234 Main Street in downtown Santa Monica, and you can tokenize it. And so it's in little pieces. So you, Graham, can buy a token and you'll own part of that property. So you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to get into a real estate investment. Maybe that token is $1.50. Maybe that token is $10, and you'll get that residual income, the interest or the staking amount or whatever. And so it's allowing the average Joe to get rich with that tokenization. And that's that blockchain technology that you hear a lot, is that you can tokenize an item, and you can do that with film fundraising. You can do that with anything where you can tokenize that object and decentralize it. I guess the closest thing that people can relate to would be like crowdfunding or a website like that.
Okay. That's awesome. I like hearing stuff like that. That is what is exciting about this. And it's also why, going back to, we talked about the environmental impact of Bitcoin and crypto mining in general. There's a lot of people coming up with really smart technology around
really smart
helping environmental issues. And so I think too, when I see like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, in addition to Ethereum and Bitcoin being traded on like PayPal, like this, I think that's going to get more people into these, and like Coinbase is now it's traded on the stock market. And I think it's going to get more adoption. That's the thing. Right now, we still only have like 1 to 2% of the world is even using crypto or own some of it. And as that number keeps going up, it'll increase the price of it, and it'll just make it more readily accessible. And I think we're only a couple of years away from just people, like they already have in large portions of Asia, where you just walk in and you just pay with a smartphone in a crypto transaction. I mean,
yes, exactly. And that's another thing too, is, one of the things that kept me out of crypto for so many years is like, I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I said, oh, well, I don't understand cryptography. I don't understand blockchain. I'm not smart enough. But, once these developers continue to develop on the blockchain technology, it's going to be just an app. You won't need to understand how to code, right? So you have a website, you're on Rockfin, you're on YouTube, and you don't have to know the coding behind it, right? Because it's user friendly. So that's what's happening more and more as developers and programmers are going on the blockchain. They're learning the language, they're learning the algorithms, and they'll be able to program it into a simple app where you won't have to understand the code. You don't have to understand HTML. You can just press a button.
That's awesome to hear. Wow. That's, I'm so excited and intrigued about this technology and how it can really revolutionize. And I just hope more people, I hope a bunch of people are buying the dip.
Yeah, buy the dip, guys. It's low right now.
Yeah, because it's going to go back up. Bitcoin's going to be at 100,000. Ethereum's going to get to 10,000, and you're going to, really want to get in these.
A lot of people think Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000 or $1 million, and people feel like they missed the boat. I hear the lot. Oh, I missed the boat already. But you can buy a 0.0001, and you'll still get, again, it's that decentralized nature. You're going to get a piece of the pie. So this is not some type of, Ponzi scheme or whatever. But I do want people to do research, because if you go on CoinMarketCap, there are thousands of coins, and some of them are possible scams. So,
Yes.
I always encourage people to do research, and I always encourage people to try to stay within the top 10 or 20 coins, because some of the projects, even though they are really, really exciting, I don't want people to get lured into this whole get rich quick thing. Oh, this coin is only like a penny. I'm going to make all this money if it goes to $100. That might be true, or you could lose all of your money. So it's really, really important to make sure that you're doing legitimate research on the projects and trying to find out what that coin actually does, because there are unfortunately unscrupulous people that are jumping into the crypto space trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah. And be aware too, folks, there's a lot of scams of like Elon Musk says, if you give him this amount of Bitcoin, he'll give you twice as much back. And it's just,
don't do that.
Don't do anything that says, give us Bitcoin or Ethereum and we'll give it back to you. That's just, they're going to steal it from you. That's what
exactly. And again, I don't want the crypto space to get a bad name. There, I'm sure in the 90s, we all got the Nigerian prince email saying, send me $100,000 or whatever. I'm a Nigerian prince. I need help. And nobody called that a USD scam. It was just like an email scam. So just because people are trying to do things in crypto doesn't mean crypto's a scam. It just shows you how valuable crypto is. Mm-hmm. They want your coins.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody said, well, don't ever answer an email because
exactly
Nigerian lottery or whatever. Nobody said, don't use email now. Don't use the internet because they're going to come get you. It's just, it's a preposterous way of thinking. Well, Rosie, I really appreciate you taking the time. And I know you came on very short notice and I appreciate that. This all just kind of popped off last night and this morning, what was happening. I was watching these other crypto YouTube shows. Days like, holy shit. But thank you so much. And where can people follow you online and follow what you're doing?
So believe it or not, Grim, I just got on Rockfin recently. I know it's crazy. Yes. It's crazy because I should have been on before. I've been preaching forever, but I was on YouTube and actually seeing what YouTube did to you, and the demonetization encouraged me to get my videos on Rockfin. So my Rockfin is rockfin.com/Rosie Tran. I only have like 220 followers. So come follow me and come say hi. I have Out of the Box podcast on there and my other sex education podcast, Dirty Change, where I talk about sex education.
What? And when did that start?
It's only a 6-episode series. I did it with a male porn star. He's the sex. I'm the funny and the education. And I wanted to talk about it because it's a taboo subject. And growing up, I didn't really have a lot of education around sex. So it's a fun, silly sex education podcast. And we try to educate and take some of the taboo away from sex, which is a basic human thing. So.
That's great. Well, everybody, another reason to join Rockfin. So now
yes,
go over and start following Rosie's show on Rockfin. If you're new to Rockfin, it's free to sign up. I have a bunch of free videos. If you do Rockfin Premium, you get my premium, you get Rosie's, you get Whitney Webb, you get Jimmy Dore, you get Abby Martin, you get Ron Placone, you get Lee Camp, you get Status Quo, all these indie news, Kim Iverson, all these shows that you probably might watch anyway. It's another reason to come over to Rockfin, and please, please, please support what Rosie's doing. Well, Rosie, thank you so much. And
thanks, Graham. And I am so happy you called me that one night and said, "What's the deal with this Bitcoin thing?"
I know. I was like, "What's up with this Bitcoin thing?" Because I knew you had that podcast with you and Esther, who were doing that bit crypto podcast or whatever. And I was like, Rosie would know this. And then you're like, "All right, let me come on your show."
I'm like, "Look, buy it, buy."
You're like, "Buy it." And I was like, "All right, 9,000 seems kind of expensive." So I'm so glad it's you and the Rockfin people really kind of held my hand. And this is the other thing I want to tell people out there. If you're like, "I don't get it," neither did I. I didn't get it. Rosie said it too. She said, "I just felt like I wasn't smart enough for this." Everybody feels like, unless you're an NSA cryptographer, you're going to probably not get this at first. And that's totally okay. Like Bill Binney understood this from day one. We didn't. And so you're not dumb. You're not an idiot. Just go now. I always tell people, go to the bitcoin.com YouTube channel. They have a Bitcoin 101 playlist. It's like 6 or 7 videos. They're all about 3 minutes long. And I needed to be spoon-fed like I was a 5-year-old. Like, this is how money works. Imagine if Santa brought you a cupcake. Like, I just needed it to be told to me in that way. That's the only way I was going to get it. So, and go easy and start watching, other channels that I watch The Moon. I watch a bit Crypto Casey. I watch Altcoin Daily, BitBoy Crypto, and some of the stuff. Initially, I was like, I don't get it. And even like some stuff today, I'm still like market cap, I kind of get, but I'm getting more and more knowledgeable. And the more you watch and pay attention, the more knowledgeable you get. And do your own research. And, don't invest money you can't afford to lose. It's still speculative. They recommend 5 to 10% of your assets, whatever. But just it's an opportunity to empower yourself. So I'm really glad you took my call and you didn't go, "You idiot," and hang up. And
no, I was so excited to tell you, and I could talk about crypto and Bitcoin for hours and hours. I love it. I'm so passionate about it. I want people to get involved. I want everyone to be rich. I want my friends to be rich, and I want them to be successful, and I don't want people to struggle. And when I found out that this was a way for the little guy to get ahead and to help with a new monetary system that is anti-war, I was like, okay, this is great.
Yep. No, I have a really good friend of mine, and he's the same age as me, and we've both been struggling and this and that financially. And I started talking to him, and he's like, okay. And then he was like, he's the guy who got me into Litecoin. He bought Litecoin at like, $85 or something. And he was like telling me, and now he's got, my portfolio, and I started with this amount and now it's worth that amount. And even after today, he's still like up, we're all, and so, yeah, it's great to, and he's like empowered. We're both like, okay, right on. And my goal, since the banks and the corrupt two-party system, let
Horrible.
The banks steal my home. They stole my home and 6 million other people's homes. My goal is, if these altcoins go through the roof like they say they're going to, I want to buy a place and be like, suck it. I got a house for crypto. Eat it.
Exactly. And it's crazy, because once that's the big dive that really switched me, was getting into crypto and Bitcoin and learning about the central bank and how the central bankers steal our wealth and give it to the ultra rich. I couldn't believe it, Graham. I was shocked. I didn't know anything about finance or economics before that. And once I started finding out what they're really doing, I was like, oh, there's actually a famous quote by Henry Ford saying, if the average American knew how the banking system works, there would be riots in the streets.
Yep. Well, Rosie, thank you. You've educated me, and so you've helped educate my audience. So we very much appreciate it. So go check out Rosie Tran on Twitter and all that, but actually Rockfin. Go to Rockfin.
Go to Rockfin. Follow me.
Yeah, follow her on Rockfin. Let's get her numbers up. She's only a couple hundred followers. Let's get them up to a couple thousand right now. Let's do that right now. All right, Rosie, thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much.
And we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at grahamelwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.